Okay.
It's right under the paperclip. Now you can click in that blank area and you can bring up the emojis. But for some reason, it just kind of disappeared recently. Just
Okay.
a small little bug.
Yeah.
It's fun though.
No, invariably somebody will ask me about that. It's good to say, I don't know.
Should be back soon. All right, cool. So let's kick it off. Today's theme, if you will, is the new premium support options. So I'm going to share my screen really quickly, and then I'm going to swing it over to Abby. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen these already in the marketplace, you should now see two new options. The one is Agency Jumpstart. This is more so for people who have recently signed up, I guess, where it's sort of a one-time fee for a custom build out of your account. We're getting a lot of requests like, hey, can you actually build out my agency's account? And now we have that option. And the other new option is Premium Agency Unlimited. So this is requires at least a 3-month commitment, but it's an extra $300 a month, and you get our premium support, which Abby is going to tell us some more about.
Yeah, so just to clarify, and I'll share my screen, and we'll move over here. Cool. So the Agency Jumpstart is our consulting package. So it's kind of like a done with you. You hop on the calls, you have like 1 to 2 sessions a week. You're going to hop on with me. And a lot of time this is great for people who are just starting or just moving into a new niche, because you want generally to build some form of a snapshot that's going to work for your client, and we're going to be able to duplicate it again and again and again. So it's awesome to start with something like this and then have me there to support you, make sure that we're using custom values correctly, so that by the time we're done, you have this awesome snapshot. And not only that, but you've been doing it with me. So you, like, we're not just going to drop off and you're going to be super confused and what is all this? And I don't know how it works, which is kind of the point of doing it together, rather than like, oh, just like go build me this thing and then I have it, but I have no idea what it does. So that's what this is for. We have a 1-month or a 3-month version of this. And then what's included with this on top of the consulting sessions is you actually have a free upgrade to also get the dedicated account rep or premium service. We're using kind of a lot of names for it right now, but it's all kind of the same thing. And if you ever used another like software as a service, having a dedicated account rep really means that rather than having to run through, you know, having to go on Slack and then into support, and then you put in a ticket, and then maybe you're on a call with Chase, and then you talk to Ian, and then you talk to Kate, and you're really like, hey, I just, you know, you guys are awesome, but like, this is kind of a lot, and it's a lot. We're trying to keep track of everything. We're trying to find dates of like, hey, like when will this be solved? And then we're talking to like multiple devs. And so we had a lot of people who were like, hey, like, we don't really like want that. We just want one person who, they know our business, they know our use case, they've been involved. And I've kind of been doing this in the background. We just haven't really had a marketplace option for this. So since I started working at HighLevel, you know, I've had some of the same clients who have been coming to me for 3, 4, 5 months, and they're just using me rather than support. So now we kind of made it more official and made it actually mean something. And it's pretty cool. So like basically, instead of you having to hunt someone down or like talk to multiple people, you just get me. I learn about you, I learn about your business, and you get a 24-hour SLA Monday through Friday. So that's pretty cool, because you don't have to wait around and be like, oh, well, I put in a ticket and then I put in another ticket 2 days later. And then maybe I had a third issue like that week. You know, we have some power users who come in here and, you know, they're trying their best to break as many things as they can to see, you know, like what's going to go wrong. And then you have multiple tickets floating to multiple people. In this case, if you're on the premium service upgrade, you just have me, you're coming to me, I'm handling all of your issues, I'm doing all the back end stuff with all the devs, I'm following up with you, I'm giving you timeframes, and it becomes super, super simple. And our goal also is that like I will have my own dedicated devs on my team, so that we're not having to like pester a whole bunch of other people. There's not this long chain of command that we're going through. It's just like, hey, it's Abby. Abby talks directly to her dev, and we get your stuff figured out as quickly as possible. And you'll have either a response, or we try our very best to have a resolution in 24 hours, Monday through Friday. So that's kind of how everything is right now with this. before we've done kind of the beta programs, everyone's kind of been able to just jump in if you're interested. Moving forward, I don't know if everyone's going to have access, but the premium service people will for sure have access to any beta programs that we're doing. And then HighLevel is also interested in doing our own events, whether it be a marketing event, an online event, something of that nature where we might have speakers or a place that you can actually go to. And any of our premium service clients will have either discounted or free tickets to those events. So that's kind of everything. That's how it all works.
And Abby, once obviously you're gonna, you can only handle so many dedicated clients. Your new team is now sort of where our support staff is going to graduate up into, right?
Yeah. So the way that it's going to work is basically we're taking the best support staff that we have, and then kind of like once they've reached that like top tier of support, like they're able, probably at this point they're already managing some of the services, like we have the online listings that some of our support agents are handling all of that. So they're basically the best trained support people. Then they get pulled onto my team. And then, each person on my team will have like a dedicated number and their list. And then we cap them so that like you get like, the best support that we could possibly give you. We're not overloading this person. Because right now, many of like we have an absolutely incredible support staff. We have, 5 or 6 people handling 2,000 agency owners. And they rock it out of the park still. But eventually, there are agencies out there, there are business owners out there who they're like, well, we just don't really want to mess around with that. We just want one person who knows us, knows our business, and they're not handling hundreds of clients. They're just handling, 20, 25 of us and can give us that really premium service that we want. So that's kind of the goal, would be moving our best support agents then onto this team, getting them their whole roster of clients. Once they're capped, then it goes on to the next person.
Nice. So I see a couple of questions popped up about SLA. So it's a 24-hour turnaround with this service. You're going to get responses to your tickets within less than 24 hours. And Victor, we're definitely not removing support. Support is going to maintain and continue to grow. We're hiring support reps left and right. But this is, again, like a premium tier of people who want to know that they're always going to interact with the same support person, and they're going to get a little bit faster turnaround time as of right now. And it sounds like we're also, which I love, is going to give each of you guys your own dev as we move forward. And that I think is really going to speed up ticket times, because a lot of times it's like the ticket has to have a developer involved, and that adds a little bit of time to that. So
yeah, and at the very least, awesome. It will be like a dev. Maybe it's not like one for each of us, but it will be a dev like dedicated to this team. So we're trying our best to get really, really organized and be like, hey, if we say it's going to be done in 7 days, we want to make sure like it's done in 7 days. Give you guys realistic timeframes for solutions that require a dev, rather than like a guesstimate where right now we're like, yeah, I mean, someone said it was 3 weeks, and then, we really try 3 weeks. But at this point, like when you have a much smaller list of clients to follow up with, it becomes a lot easier to be more accurate and consistently follow up and make sure that you guys are seeing things done in the time frame that we give you.
So hey, Abby,
go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, Lenny asked a question here. Is whatever fixed in premium only rolled out to that specific client? So if it's like a bug that you report to your dedicated account rep and that gets fixed, it's obviously going to apply to everybody, because we don't want some people to have bugs and others not. But this brings up an interesting question, I think, which is, Abby, will premium support, can they go to you for like, hey, I just took on a client in a different niche, can you help me set up my snapshot for them?
Yeah, so the premium service is kind of more like, hey, this is broken, or I have this question, or this didn't work how I thought it was going to work. We can hop on calls and go through all their questions and go through the list. If it's more like, hey, I need you to build out this whole snapshot with me, that's going to be more on the consulting side. And if you pay for the consulting, you also get the premium agency included. So that's what you're looking at. And when we're looking at hour plus long sessions where we're actually going through and building an account, that's definitely more on consulting side. But that did actually like lead me to an interesting thought, which is basically like, if you're a premium client and you want some sort of like feature request, something like that, that might be something in the future where if we have a dev actually on our team, if it's like a small feature request, those people are probably going to get priority of their feature requests if we actually are working with our own devs. So, that's not a guarantee, but I can definitely see like in the future something being wiggled into that.
Nice. Yeah, that would be cool, especially if
Mhm.
it's quick shortlist stuff. That
And
would make sense.
Abby, are we going to be able to like dedicate our support team to you? In other
Yeah.
words, okay,
Mhm.
all right.
Yeah. So like right now, like I have quite a few people on the list, and it's like if you tell me like, hey, this person are the point of contact for our agency, it doesn't necessarily have to be the owner. It just needs to be like the person who I'm just so that like I have their name, number, email. I know who they are. I know they're on my list, and I'm consistently following up with them in that SLA time.
Okay, thank you.
So Victor, important clarification. No, it doesn't mean that you can start firing off requests that'll get built instantly, specifically to your needs. I think what Abby was saying is in the future, it's way more likely that if you have dedicated support and you're like, hey, here's this idea, and the dev determines, oh, that's something I can do in like 15 minutes, they'll probably go ahead and do it versus, hey, great idea, put it on the ideas board and try to get people to vote it up to the top.
Yeah, it's kind of like the small feature request, which was landing on Renato's board a lot for a while. So if it was like something, hey, like a 15, 30-minute thing that we can go in and accomplish, you know, Renato is obviously going to get overwhelmed if he's working with 2,000 people. But if we have a dev who's dedicated to like just these premium clients, that might be a little bit more doable for these small tweaks. But I wouldn't anticipate, like I wouldn't buy this or purchase this on the anticipation that like, hey, I get all these feature requests now and they're all going to be built for me. Like that's definitely not what I'm saying. I would hope that it would be really cool if we could start doing that for the premium clients as we build out this team.
Yeah, and nobody has their own version of HighLevel, so whatever, if anything were to get built, it would apply to everybody's account, not just yours. To clarify, agency premium is more like a custom rush pack, but without the traffic campaigns. Things like automations and funnels are covered. So that's still more on the consulting side, right, Abby?
Yeah, that's more on the consulting side. So I would say that the premium agency unlimited is like you're getting a dedicated support rep. In a way, you're kind of getting to cut the line for support because you're getting 24-hour SLA, where I think our regular support has something around like a 5 to 7 day SLA for a regular ticket that's coming through. And you're really just getting to work with that one person. So you're not having to go ping all over the place and you're one ticket with Kate, one with Chase, one with Sean, get on the phone here and there. You're just that one person. I know your business. I know who you are. I'm solving your issues and I'm following up with you about everything. So it just becomes very easy, very organized. Email, phone calls, texting, you know, kind of like whatever support that you need to make sure like you're fully supported, you're getting the things done that you need done, you're getting your questions answered, and, you know, your team is able to function at their best ability.
Yeah, and again, I would reiterate, this is really great for people that are coming into HighLevel now or have recently come in, because obviously the learning curve can be pretty steep. So what we've seen is people come in and they stumble and they're like, I put in a support ticket, and 2 days later they're like really upset that they haven't heard back because they don't know how to build out their initial stuff. And there was a lot of frustration around people who are just fresh to the platform. So we really wanted to create sort of a path for them to say, look, you know, because we have people saying, look, I'm willing to pay more money, I just need faster answers. And this is a way for you to do that. So I think it'll be great for a lot of people coming in. And then after, you know, after a couple of months, when you sort of get the lay of the land, you could probably, I'm sure there will be people that won't need it after that. But I think it's a great option, especially when you're just getting started.
The path that I've seen a lot of people take is come in and get something like the consulting package, so the agency jumpstart, and either pick a month or 3 months depending on like their skill level, depending on like their business level. Do they even know what a funnel is going to look like end to end? Do they know how to run ads? And the benefit for me as a consultant is I've worked not only in multiple agencies, run my own agency, I've worked across so many different softwares at this point. So actually a lot of time, like a lot of my clients right now, I'm spending time troubleshooting ManyChat, troubleshooting Zapier, stuff like that, and making sure even outside of HighLevel that things are working how you want them to work. And we're getting the whole flow correct end to end. And so a lot of people start there with a jumpstart package, build out their snapshot, make sure everything looks good. And then they would keep me on as like a premium dedicated rep because I already know them. I already know their business. I know their use case. I can jump in really easily and be like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I built this out with you. I know what this looks like. I know what you're trying to accomplish. let me go in and fix this for you and check on this for you just really quickly. And that has worked out really well. You know, I've had people on with me for nearly 6 months who just really want to like have me continue supporting their business. Because at this point, it's like they have so many clients or they're so busy that it's just nice to almost have someone on retainer who you know is going to like solve all your problems on the HighLevel side.
Yeah, and Dennis, I think exactly what she just said sort of applies to your question. We are already launched. We have several clients, but many more to roll out. Would Agency Jumpstart be a good option to review my snapshots, understand if we're doing it in the most efficient manner, or if we have an advanced function that we are trying to deploy? 100%. I think that's a perfect example of, hey, we're going to make this investment in Jumpstart. We're going to go through all our campaigns. We're going to have consultation type conversations like, is this the best thing, or is there something I don't know about that I could improve this snapshot or campaigns? And then maybe you downgrade to the 300 premium support if you want to keep that direct line to Abby's team, or maybe you're good to go after that first month.
Hey, I have a question real quick, Abby, if I can ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I've done several things like this before, you know, like support type. And I just want to make sure that I'm totally clear, because it will probably determine if I do it or not. If there are going to be multiple lines of communication, for meaning some of us like, no, you got to email us, and then it becomes this like 3 and 4 day back and forth because like I ask you a question and you really didn't understand, you know what I mean? And so we're like going back and forth and neither of us really understand what the other's saying. Or is it going to be like, I can call you, we can Zoom?
Yeah, so the way that I have it set up is definitely you get to text me, which goes to my Twilio number, which is all through my HighLevel account anyway. You can call that number as well, but I'm on phone scheduled calls a lot. So text me, email me, or schedule a call. And I mean, I have literally 8 hours a day open to take calls with people. And then I have my limited number of clients. So, you know, I might have one day where I'm doing 8 hours of calls back to back, something like today. But then the next 2 days I have basically wide open. So, you know, I'm pretty flexible. I try to do the best that I can. If there's like a crazy emergency, like I'm going to try to squeeze you in, even if that means I have to stay a little later, come a little earlier. And obviously,
is Zoom an option too? If I'm like calling, I'm describing to you an issue and you're kind of like, hey, can we just Zoom real quick so you can actually see my?
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah. If there's any confusion on my part, I'm definitely more inclined to be like, hey, let's just hop on really quick so I can understand what's going on, so I can see what's going on. I might even record it so I can send it over the devs, because I don't want to do back and forth as much as you don't want to do it.
Perfect.
When people book on your time slots, that's basically booking a Zoom, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I book them for 45 minutes, but it really it depends. Like if you only need 15 minutes, we're going to hop on for 15 minutes. And I'll probably spend the rest of that scheduled time actually talking to the internal team, solving whatever it was we talked about. And, you know, if you end up needing an hour, then we're going to be on for an hour. The whole goal is really just to solve your problems and do as much as we can to get it done as quickly as possible.
Thank you.
Abby, and just to clarify it, I mean, when you're talking about dev team, you're not talking about necessarily bugs with the HighLevel system, right? You're talking about more of like campaign troubleshooting, maybe, you know, emails are not going out, or, you know, it's double triggering, those type of things. Is that correct? Or is that also, you're talking about bugs in HighLevel?
Yeah, so right now I would say about 90% of problems and bugs are actually like something's not set up correctly. It's not an actual developmental bug. So, I mean, it's my goal, obviously, if it's not working how you want it to work, I'm going to go in your account and trace down why it's not working, why is it not doing what you want it to do, in that 10% chance that maybe it is a developmental bug or we just see something weird going on. Then it's pulling in our personal dev team to look at the back end, look at the coding, and make sure, you know, it's not a bug. And if it is, we need to fix it.
Nice. Okay. Just wanted to clarify that. But we will still have, I mean, if we find a bug in HighLevel, we definitely want to obviously report it to HighLevel so they can fix it, right?
Yeah, so you would just report it to me. And that's the same thing as like going to support, rather than having to do the support ticket and then follow that whole chain. You would just tell me and be like, hey, this is our issue. If you send me a Loom or we jump on a Zoom and you show me like, hey, this is going on, I'm going to jump in your account. I'm going to see if I can fix it myself. If it's, you know, some sort of setup error. If it's not and it's a bug, then I'm still reporting it as a bug to the HighLevel team because I'm still part of the HighLevel team. It's just a separate side than the regular support team.
Yeah, and that whole thing, that whole chain of events will happen much quicker. Like right now, again, we're actively hiring for support, but like Abby said, the turnaround time right now, especially if a dev needs to get pulled in, is like 5 days. So, and when Abby has a good point, most of the bugs that get reported are not actually bugs; they're just something's not configured correctly. So if you had premium support, your specific problem 90% of the time would get solved within 24 hours versus having to wait 5 or 6 days. And again, we don't want our turnaround to be 5 or 6 days, but until we can staff up, and that's where it's at right now.
Yeah, and it's not even that the support team isn't incredible. I mean, I think a lot of time you guys are seeing answers quicker than that. We have the in-app chat support, so you guys are getting answers really quickly, but it's more like if you have multiple small things and questions here and there, and then the one's a dev issue and you're talking to like multiple people and maybe they don't know your use case, it becomes a lot easier and more streamlined to just have one person. I know you, I know your business. And then, you know, over time, you're building that relationship with me and it becomes really, really easy. It's like almost getting to just have me in your pocket on your team. And then instead of having to pay for like a full-time employee, you're just paying that one monthly fee and you're getting me there to support you and your team.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you guys have this this feature. I just didn't want it to make it, you know, you guys pushing this service and forgetting about, you know, obviously improving HighLevel and us not getting an answer for 5 days. And then we have to be forced to buy this type of support, you know? So that was my main concern, you know? But I mean, it's great that you guys have, this is totally awesome. But, you know, obviously we don't want it to get there because we want HighLevel to improve. And that's the main reason why we're here.
Yeah, I can definitely speak to that. So as like the manager of customer service, as Chase and Abby alluded to earlier, like we're hiring as much as possible, as quick as possible. I've literally just hired 5 people, 5 other support staff. So we're trying to just get them up to speed as quick as possible. And yeah, we're definitely not trying to lower the support team and force you guys onto this, right? That's definitely not the goal here. It's just kind of, we know that some people, especially, you know, power users, really want a quicker SLA period, somebody to jump on right away, somebody to build them custom stuff, kind of like, I guess the Sean role that he was doing for the past year, which is essentially like, hey, you can jump on a call instantaneously. We're working our way up to that. So we're not we're not stopping support. So you don't have to worry about that.
And Mark, you would need to be on the premium support to get the link to book one-off Zooms for issues, or maybe not.
You know,
Abby,
you can still book a time. I think if you were to book a Zoom call right now with non-premium support member, I guess you can call it, you're usually looking at about 24 hours by the time you can get on with them, if not, if not less time. We're trying to keep that to less than 24 hours.
And is that the link of what you just talked about, Ian? GoHighLevel.com/support?
Yeah, just follow that link, click on the calendar, and then you can toggle through support rep 1, support rep 2, support rep 3. It's just different timings and choose whatever's available. So I guarantee if you look at that now, you can probably get we're trying to keep that link available for, like I said, within 24 hours, you should see an open slot. So I'm just curious right now. If I click on that right now, I'm gonna make sure I can book somebody within 24 hours. Yeah, so the closest time is actually tonight at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, and then tomorrow at 1:30, tomorrow at 10 a.m. So yeah, that's definitely less than 24 hours. And that's obviously free. Nobody has to pay for that. You can anyone can
I've used that before several times and I've never had a problem. So it's been really good.
Thank you.
I think I spoke to Abby a couple of times.
We appreciate that, George. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and trust me, guys, like that's wonderful. You guys have that support with Abby, because I'm sure, you know, we all need it. You know, we just need to make sure that we keep that open communication, you know, obviously HighLevel and users, you know, so then we can report bugs as fast as we can. Like at the moment, you know, I don't know if I need, well, I know I don't need Abby because I know I'm a power user. I have my own developers as well. And we already troubleshooted. I'm having an issue with pixels not tracking properly, right?
Yeah.
So obviously I reported to HighLevel, so I want to make sure that HighLevel it's aware of it and is taking care of it. Obviously we want it to do as soon as possible, but I don't know the actual,
Yeah.
you know, obviously I don't know where I'm at, but
Totally.
you know, and that's why I wanted to make sure I'm clarified with Abby support and HighLevel support, you know.
Of course, yeah,
Mhm.
we're building in those structures now. Our goal for the in-app chat is literally 10 minutes. We want to be able to get back to people within 10 minutes. Like I said, to book a call with us, we want to be able to provide a call within 24 hours. We're trying to drive our SLA time even for the general support to less than 24 hours. It's obviously it's a process. We're hiring to get there. We obviously appreciate your patience in the meantime. But yeah, thanks for the feedback, Victor. I appreciate that.
I would also point out, I think it's important to understand sort of the chain of a ticket, right? So if you open up a ticket and it is an actual dev bug, like odds are the person that you're talking to on live chat, or if you book that Zoom, isn't going to be able to fix that on that call, right? It has to get escalated to somebody who can verify that, yeah, that is a technical bug, and then it needs to go to the dev side. They actually fix it, it comes back. So depending on the issues, obviously the time to response and time to resolution is obviously going to vary. But we actually, speaking of quick turnarounds, who was it that reported the missing emoji icon? Are you still on the call?
That was me.
Was it only in that one place that it disappeared? Because Renato is fixing it right now.
As far as I could tell, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Look at this. This is smart.
How's that for a turnaround?
Yeah, I think like
Appreciate
the goal overall is like, I mean, we want HighLevel regular support to still be like the best support that you're going to find on any like software online. Like you're still going to be talking to real people. We still have a really awesome team, like chat support. You can get on calls with people. I'm sure a lot of you have already talked to a lot of our support agents. We're real people. We come in, we're really willing to help you guys. So this is in no way, shape, or form trying to take away from that or say like, hey, our support's going to get worse to force you guys to pay for my support. It's just a lot of people are at a certain point in their business where they want that dedicated account manager. They want someone who knows them and their business, and they're just talking to the same person again and again. So that's kind of what this is for.
Nice. Hey, we got Sean on the call. What's happening, Sean?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Can we pay $5 more and get Sean as our dedicated person?
No, I won't
that's the
allow
whole
it. I'm
point.
supposed to be stopping Sean from taking calls.
That's
I
right,
know.
that's the idea
I'm the
here.
gatekeeper for Sean now, so.
Oh yeah, there is a bird on the call.
Let me close the door. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah, Lenny, that's another good point. We're really focused on building out as many support docs with videos as we can. So we have a new channel internally where when something gets brought up and it's like, hey, it'd be awesome to have a video and a support doc for this, we try to knock that out as quickly as possible. So, and then all the new stuff that's created goes into that weekly roundup. So that's a great way to sort of stay on top of new features that have come out, new fixes that rolled out, stuff like that.
Yeah, weekly roundup is really great, Chase. I appreciate that.
You like it? Awesome. Yeah. I think it's a great way to keep up to speed, especially like
you can miss
into
some of
turbo
these
mode.
Yeah.
Charlie, I think there's an issue with the in-app support. When you get a notification by email, it does not reference the original ticket, so it's hard to tell which emails are about which support ticket. Ian, is that something you could speak to?
I'd have to see an example. Could you?
Yeah, definitely send an example to Ian, because Ian, I want you to run that back and see if we can get that fixed, because it looks to me like it's clearly an issue for both people.
Send me an email, ian@gohighlevel.com. Just provide me thoughts of what you're referring to, and if it's something I can fix in our ticketing system, then I'll definitely do it. It's the first time I'm hearing about that, but I believe you. I just need to see the example.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. So I know, Abby, you have to jump to a call soon, right? Does anybody have any questions about the premium support, Abby's team, before she has to run?
No.
Cool.
All right, awesome. Yeah, if you
Thanks,
guys have any more
Abby.
questions, feel free. You can always pass it through like a support ticket or chat, and it will all be passed to me. And if you guys are wondering about consultation, if it's a good fit for you or anything like that, we can always book like an initial call, figure out, you know, what's going on with your business and if this is going to be a good fit. And I can direct you, you know, if it's not me, it might be someone else, it might be a different package that we offer, and I can give my advice there for you guys to make sure that you just get whatever you exactly need for your business.
Thank you, Abby. Appreciate it.
Yeah, very welcome.
So when I signed up for HighLevel, there was the 10-hour consultation. Is that the same thing? Does that apply to Abby, or is that something different?
Yeah, so before we were doing 10-hour consulting, and it was split between Robin and I. And as of now, we're no longer running through that same package. So all the consulting is through the agency Jumpstart. And the only people who are on that were people who had maybe purchased before and had not used all their hours. And we just honor that and finish out the rest of that package.
Oh, okay, awesome. I haven't taken advantage of that. I know I purchased it, so would love to jump on that, you know.
Yeah, definitely. If you shoot over an email to support or me, abby@gohighlevel.com, we can just, you know, see how many hours you booked before, if you booked any, and then we can get you scheduled for any new consulting hours.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Awesome. All right, guys, I got to run.
Bye, Abby.
Bye.
Yeah, Abby, thanks.
Hey,
All
Mark,
right.
Mark, on that email you just put in there, when I open that file, the ticket is right under the Sincerely HighLevel support team. There's like a ticket link. Is that not a reference to the original ticket? If you're still on here, if you want to come off mute.
Ticket number or
okay, what
There you
happens when I click that? It sends me to a login that I don't have access to.
Aha. Okay. So yeah, how too bad we can't, well, I think the problem is, yeah, it's going to make you register, because then otherwise anybody would have access to anyone else's tickets.
No, I don't think so.
You don't have to register to view your ticket?
So our help desk has the capability of allowing customers, so our customers, so Mark, for example, to log into the portal and to see all the tickets and all the status and all like a breakdown of what's pending and all that kind of stuff. Right now, that's actually deactivated.
Oh, it is? We should really activate that.
Yeah, it was planned out. Yeah.
That's a good idea. Let's do that.
Yeah, we can activate that, and then they can essentially log in and see like the status of all the tickets. People are going there right now trying to log in. It's saying access denied, and they're thinking something's wrong. No, nothing's wrong.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
It's just not activated right now for the customers. So we could get that activated. And thanks for the email, Charlie. I see what you're referring to. Yeah, so that email that we send, when somebody submits a ticket, there's an auto response email that goes out that says, we got your ticket in the system. We're looking at it, provide more information so we can troubleshoot as quick as possible, provide us like a Loom video, what account is this happening in, what's the example, what's a trigger name. The more information we get on every ticket, obviously the less back and forth is gonna be needed. So yeah, I think all I need to do, Charlie, is dynamically add a ticket number to that email response saying, hey, we just received this ticket number XXXXX or whatever it is, you know, and provide you the ticket number. I think that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and that I can do. So let me just add that as a to-do.
Or also a copy of the original support request email. Is there like a body merge tag or like a message?
We can add a body to it. We can add a body. Here's what you requested, blah, 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 blah. I can make that happen. Nice.
Charles, as of right now, it is an open forum. So if you've got a general question.
I have a calendar question that since Sean's here, I want to get him before he leaves because I know.
Go for it.
Pretty smart. Oh. All right. So, calendar. Love the calendar. Love HighLevel. Obviously, there's so many cool options, but at the same time, there can be lots of options in different scenarios. So I want to make sure I understand. Okay. So if I'm embedding a calendar on a page, right? Let's just say they opt in on page 1, then I'm trying to get them to book on page 2 of a HighLevel funnel, and the HighLevel calendar is embedded, right? Yes. So right now I'm specifically talking about the actual like form where the calendar, when they put in the first name, last name, email, phone, whatever.
Yes.
I just want to make sure, like, if I don't mess with the calendar at all, don't put in a custom form, I don't mess with it at all, and someone books a time and they hit submit, in the funnel, can I dictate go to next page, or is that something I need to do on the calendar settings? You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I would do it in the calendar settings thing.
So that means then we have to drop the URL in there.
Well,
or should, and that's where I'm going. Like,
I'm actually just shooting from the hip on that. I don't.
Just use a custom form on the calendar. You know what I mean? So I can control it. Like I don't.
Well, I'm trying to. These things actually change every day. So what we need to do is look in the funnel builder when you drag and drop the calendar out. Does it give you like a next step option? I think that what it would do by default is it would be like calendar form, and then there'll be the additional notes field, right? But if we want to get around all that, if we just want to go calendar form, go to the next page, I would use the URL option because I feel like that would be the easiest way to do it.
So just put the third page URL in there just to.
Exactly.
Okay. What do you suggest we just leave the calendar form as is, or
I would. What's
put a custom form in?
I mean, unless there's, well, I mean, only if there's an advantage to changing it. It's pretty simple as it is. So it's kind of, I think it's more like, well, what's the advantage, right?
The only advantage would be asking them more questions before
correct.
You know what I mean? Like qualifying.
Of course,
questions.
I've always been a hater on asking more questions because I'm always like, look, the more questions you ask, the more friction you create. And so then the question is, there are certainly situations and scenarios whereby you need to create that friction. If you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many leads coming in that are unqualified, well then please ask more questions.
Right.
But I'd say 98% of people are never in that situation.
Okay. So opt-in page 1, embedded calendar page 2, pop the third page URL in there for the confirmation or whatever to do next.
For me, that's what I would do, yes.
Okay. All right.
I think to get people's input on the phone, we've got first name, last name, phone, and email. I always change it to mobile phone because that's the only phone number I want to have them give me. So I train all my clients to do the same thing. Is that what everybody does? Is that something could be?
I typically, what I do is in the actual box, I pre-fill like enter your best number here or something like that. Or maybe enter your cell number. I may do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I only want their cell number. I don't, because I text a lot.
I just believe that there's no longer anything other than cell numbers in the world.
Okay. All right.
And I think I'm only about 99% accurate, and I'm okay to live with my 1% failure rate.
So going back to Ty's question, I'm going to throw this out there because I think I know the answer, but I think it would be useful for everyone. If you use the funnel setting of what to do next after a form submission, that will supersede the form setting, right?
That's what I'm wondering, because it's not technically like a form I build. It's just the calendar. It's the one that's already on the calendar.
I believe so.
But it knows, it knows if you've connected a form to the calendar. But
correct.
if you use that funnel setting where it's like go to the next step or go to a URL or whatever, I'm almost positive that will supersede any URL that you have set in the form reader.
That's what I would think would be easy. It's just go to the next step, right? When they,
I'm fairly certain that's the case.
I guess I can just test it out.
Javier said it will override the URL. So
Nice.
Thanks, Javier. All right, we got some other questions popping up here. Can you add a stage to the app, first appointment completed? Totally. I mean, if we're talking pipelines, you can make as many stages as you like. And I mean, that's like a manual step though, right? Because we can't know if they actually showed up to the appointment without somebody doing something in the app. But you can definitely make custom stages in the pipeline.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I want. So I'm just working with fitness studios. So here's the problem. Their sales cycle sucks, or their sales process sucks. So I can book people, they can cancel, we can no-show them, blah, blah, blah. But if I have someone at the front desk that's got their little smartphone and looks at the calendar and clicks on Mary Jo that she just finished her class, then boom, I can do all kinds of shit with that trigger. Pardon my French.
Just have them tag it.
create a tag and then like called first appointment
Showed.
completed or whatever.
Yeah.
Showed, yeah.
Hold on. I got to look at my thing. You might be asking a lot. It's hard. What I was thinking, it's hard enough to get them to write down to tag no show, right? So if I can have them tag no show or have them tag completed in the same place, then that would be ideal.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like create an appointment status, like an official status.
No,
Yeah, because right now we've got, right now the app has got action required, confirmed, invalid, canceled, no show.
Or are you talking about in the web app, or are you talking about on the mobile app?
Mobile app.
Okay, hold on. Because I'm thinking what I would do is I would go into the contact. So let me think about that. I would try to go into the contact and update the contact with a tag. Because the problem with creating the showed status is then every single appointment would then need some kind of confirmation. The majority of appointments should show. That's the sort of default stance. Yeah, let's see here.
So right now I'm building out in the nurture stage. I'm building out messages triggered by the appointment confirmation date. So 2 days afterwards, 4 days afterwards, 6 days afterwards.
Well, and that's how I would build it too. I would build it with the assumption that that they showed, and then only act on if they didn't, and build all the pipeline stuff assuming that that they did show. In which case, like you could. And what you could do is you could use the stale opportunity trigger, right? So if they sit in status booked or whatever on your pipeline for greater than 1 day, or I think you could even trigger off of off of appointment date, right? I'm trying to think about that.
Yeah,
and
so
then,
you could
and then you could act on that as well, like a day after their appointment. Go ahead and move them over.
Yeah. See, the other thing though, having the studio do it or the whoever shows up, it really gets them physically in the sales process. It's like, oh, look, Mary Jane just showed, so maybe I'll even talk to her. Because the sales process at these studios is really
well, it's
terrible.
true. I mean, I don't disagree with the fact that getting your clients to do anything is often difficult.
Yeah.
But that is one thing that I have a hard time figuring out how you're ever going to get around, because they're going to be the only people in the room to see the show happen or not.
Right.
So you've got to get them to at least like click the opportunity card, add a tag. That's what I would do.
Okay. What's action required on your on the mobile app?
Well, action required should only be when the auto confirmation is disabled.
Okay.
So if you have auto confirm turned off, the idea is that appointment is not booked. It's a request, and then you now have to have the staff member come in and say, "Yep, we're going to see you at that time."
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? That's how that works.
Okay. Go on to the next one. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question on Mailgun and the reporting.
Sure.
I have the $35 package, and apparently it only gives you 5 days of logs.
Correct.
Is that going to be something that will be addressed in HighLevel when they do the reporting, or do we have to go up to a higher level?
Well, okay. So yeah, let's walk through that. Let's like unpack that for a sec.
Okay.
So we will definitely, what we're missing right now is all of the HighLevel reporting, which is what we're working on right now. And I hope to have out near the end of this month. Now, the reason why they limit logging is that logging is diagnostic in nature, right? It's more like, hey, my emails aren't going out. What happened, right? More or less. And so walk me through what you're looking for from a logging perspective, because we already tell you if you've sent something, you can go back as far as you want in our system, right? But what are you looking for in that log that we can't give you, or they can't?
Yeah, the way, and my case may be specific, so I know it's going to be different for everybody, but the way I'm doing my cold reach outs is I'm sending 2 emails. The second email has a link to a landing page that gives them more options. After the second email goes out, I call the office and say, hey, I sent you these emails. Did you get them? And then I try to get an appointment from there. If they ask for more information, I ask for the decision maker's name and email address, and then I send her a message, and then 2 days later, I call them. So it's good for me to know if they're actually opening the link.
Why are you not using the open triggers, man?
Okay, because I probably don't know how.
Okay, so what you want to really do here is use our system, not Mailgun, because Mailgun is just like, they're just like, hey, we know how to send lots of email. That's kind of all they do, right?
Okay.
So if you go to the triggers, there's a trigger called email events, and this is awesome. You know the thing where like you can alert, you get there's like Yesware started this, where it would like alert you when someone opens your email. You can do that with our triggers right now. There's a trigger called email events, and one of the email events is open. So you can make it so that every time someone opens one of your emails, it dings you. So you could call them up. Hey, saw you just opened my email. How's it going? Right?
Will it also work with links if they opened up a link?
Yeah, that's why we have things called trigger links. So if you go under marketing, it says trigger links, and it's specifically designed to say, listen, when someone clicks this link, I want to know about it.
Okay. And, just the backstory on me, I started doing marketing January 6th, so I'm not real familiar with all the nuances.
That's okay. That's no fault to you.
I love that that's available.
My thing is, this is what I run into every day on our platform. It's so big that people don't even realize half the stuff is there. And I'm always like, oh, man, because I know I can tell you the programmer who spent 3.5 weeks on that one feature. And I'm always like, dang it. Does everyone know we do Google AdWords reporting? I want somebody to discover that today for the first time.
No, I do a lot of Photoshop, so it's the same way with that. There's like 1,000 ways to do one thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm finding the more I dig deeper into.
So you can do all the open tracking, click tracking. What am I missing here?
There is a setting that he has to turn on in Mailgun though, right? For that to work first?
It's just in it should be on by default.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, George, there is a place where you can put the clicked event. So any links inside will trigger off that trigger.
Okay. So basically, I'll be able to see every time they opened up an email, if they opened up multiple
and you should experiment with this in the next 10 minutes on yourself, right?
Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. And I'm sure you guys have a video to kind of walk us through the...
Maybe.
Yeah.
If not, Chase can add it to the list.
Yeah, if you don't see one or if you see one and you feel like it wasn't good enough, just let me know in help.gohighlevel.com. But I know we made one for the email events trigger. And so that's what Sean was talking about. Hey, I want to know if somebody opens an email, text me or move them in a pipeline or whatever you want to do.
Just keep my Mailgun the way I have it right now, and then just use HighLevel.
That's all fine and good. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right.
And then the other one is trigger links. So those are under marketing. So when you create a trigger link, it's just going to say, hey, what's the link? And then within your emails, you can select from a dropdown your trigger links. Like when you highlight a text, like click here, you highlight it, click the link icon, and you can then, there's a dropdown for your trigger links. You select your trigger link, and then you can build a trigger that will do things whenever that link's clicked.
Okay. All right, cool.
Trigger links. Hey, can you do trigger links in funnels too, right? I think I asked this before. Like one on your funnel pages.
But the trick with trigger links is, how do I know who you are when you click a link on a website?
Yes. True.
Is there a way to build that on HighLevel? I know I asked that before, tracking.
Site tracking, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we have that. We have that in the works right now. We'll have, we're going about it from an attribution perspective. So throw the form on the website, drive traffic to it from Google, from Facebook, from wherever. We'll capture the lead and capture the attribution so that later on we can roll up and say, you got this much revenue from these lead sources.
Beautiful. Thank you, guys.
That'll be probably the next, I'd say 45 days.
Okay.
Oh, really good. The smart lists are really cool. I built some smart lists already, so that feature
Nice.
is like freaking fantastic. I didn't know if you guys were going to add the smart list to conversations.
Do you mean to be able to initiate conversations from a smart list?
No, to like filter, like I have a few people on my team and to know who's like talking with, you know, certain emails or text messages. I don't know if that's.
Oh, that's interesting. So like toggle the conversations tab. So like I only want to see conversations that Sean had.
Right, because we like in the smart list, we assign the people that are doing the emails and the cold outreaches. So there's 3 of us doing that, and then in the conversations, it's just all one running thread. I didn't know if you guys had any, you know, aspiration to add that to the conversation.
Trying to think about that. I think the smart list sort of, I guess you could say, show me everyone who has had a conversation with this person. I'm trying to think, what are you trying to achieve though?
Just to kind of, like if team member A wants to just have their conversation so they know who's they need to speak with, if they either text them or email them back.
So
I don't know.
are you assigning, so in that case, I would think you'd want to assign the contact to the person.
Yeah, so we're doing that.
Okay, now, is this a situation where sometimes I'm in a group mode, I'm helping out whatever conversations come in, and then sometimes I just want to see conversations I'm assigned to, but not always one way or the other?
Yes.
Yeah, so we have a filter. There'll be filters that go live on the conversations page where you'll be able to filter based on channel type. So like show me all the web chats, show me all the Facebook messages, that kind of thing. And then you'll also be able to filter and just say, show me just my conversations.
Okay, so that's coming soon to the, okay, all right, beautiful.
Yeah, we're really in a mode right now as a company. So the 2 big things that are going to be dropping, well, 3 things. One, a lot of additional reporting, websites next week, and then and then in about a month and a half, membership sites. But besides those 3 large features or kind of large additions, we're really working hard right now on refinements. Even the smart lists, to a great extent, is a big refinement of the contacts list. It's like, hey, how do we take the contacts list, which started off really basic, and how do we expand that out and do a lot more with it? And then eventually we'll sunset the contacts list, and all that will remain is the smart list.
Sweet. I love it. I mean, it's so easy to use. So you know. Yeah,
it's a great technique. I mean, I can't take any credit for it, but we had that recommended to us by Shane Hillier and many months ago, and we've worked on it for many months. So I'm just happy we could bring it out because it is a cooler, better way to do contacts, and we will keep expanding it. So keep throwing out ideas and telling us what you want, because we definitely want to continue to iterate on smart lists. We're definitely not done.
Okay, cool.
Thank you so much, John and Chase. I mean, the whole team, everything that you guys do. We wanted to make we want HighLevel to be the best app, you know, and crush the competition. So thank
Dennis,
you for all the features. What can we do to like fix all the bugs like that are coming up, right?
What bugs? Which one?
Bugs, right?
Give me the bug. Okay,
perfect. Yeah. So what's the best? Well, you know, we're reporting it to support, which is great. You know, support is awesome.
Yeah.
In here, like in these conversations, right? I know some things can be sound negative, but really they're not, right? We just want to give our feedback.
Yeah, I mean, you tell me. I mean, Ian's on this call, but you know, we have a really good support structure now in place where we have dedicated developers whose whole job. In fact, Renato is on this call. Renato's entire job is to fix frontline bugs for customers based upon tickets. That's his whole existence. So we have a lot of dedicated resources in fact, and there's at least an additional 2 developers. Renato, who's the guy who I keep seeing he's doing something with folders?
It's Christopher.
Can't wait for that to happen.
Oh, you're sparking my attention.
Yeah, right. Christoph, right?
Yeah, Christopher.
Where's he located? He's on your time. He's during the day as well, right?
No, he's from the Philippines.
Yeah, but he's on, I think, during these hours.
4 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not here now, but sometimes he is.
Okay. I just see the times on his GitHub pushes are always very daytime hours for me. So I was always curious. But yeah, I mean, I would say we have at least 4 full-time developers whose whole job it is to fix small bugs that come up from customers. So, I mean, and we have a total development team now of probably almost 25 or 30 people. So, and we'll continue to add more as time goes on. So just keep reporting them and we'll keep working on them. But I think you'll find that the system is more rock solid today than ever, and will only get more rock solid in the coming months as we really focus on refinements.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I've noticed a big change, and yeah, so perfect. Just wanted to make sure we utilize this call.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And if there's some massive urgent, blowing you out of the water kind of thing, let me know.
Like right now, there's a big issue in Facebook. The pixel, the event pixel, they're not tracking properly. So with the Facebook,
I love those calls. Let's get on those calls. I've been on 5 of them, only to find that people put the pixels in the wrong place, or they've got them on 6 different websites than they know, or people are running ad blockers. Did you watch our video?
Yeah, we already troubleshoot all of that.
Okay. Yeah, great. Let's grab a call, and we can go through it together. I'm booked up the rest of today, but I think I've got something tomorrow.
That'll be great. Thank you, Sean.
Can I ask you
I've got a question, actually, Sean? I got a 145 today.
I'll do it.
Here you go. It's in the chat. Grab it while it's hot.
Oh, I got it. Too bad. No,
Kool-Aid.
Oh man, my browser didn't load fast enough.
Exactly.
Okay. Sean, can I ask 2 quick questions?
Yeah, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it. The first one is, if I want to develop a stage for hot lead, so go from new lead to hot lead automatically with the trigger. I see customer replied, that's good enough for me. But is there any way for me to isolate just from lead to hot lead? Because I don't see any way I can actually specify a stage. Am I missing it, or?
Yeah, so that would be in your action. It should be add opportunity, right? Oh, and
they already have an opportunity, so I'm just updating the opportunity.
Correct. So if you when you do an ad, if they're already in there, it'll perform a move.
Okay, but any way for me to filter just for that stage? I don't see that as an option.
By default, they won't move backwards. So you're
they won't.
No, that's why
if they're scheduled and they reply, they're not going to move all the way back.
Correct.
To hot
that's why there's a physical switch at the bottom of that action that very specifically gives you the ability to move them backwards.
Got it. Cool. That's good to know. Thank you. The other question I had is, I think I know the answer to this, but on opportunities, if you know how you built in that new functionality not too long ago to show the dates on there, it's optional. But if I show the dates, is it not showing dates that are in the past? Like, do those drop off to where it doesn't show those anymore?
Don't think so. I go to opportunities and I show the date.
Like I have one on Monday. There was an appointment for Monday.
Calendar event. You mean the calendar event?
No, calendar events.
Okay.
So if it's in the past, it looks like it hides it.
Well, that's a good question. I don't know. Maybe you found a bug.
Yeah, that wasn't happening before. It just started happening recently.
Oh, that's good. Hey, Renato, can you write that one down and report it to Nikunj?
Can you just repeat it, please?
If there's a calendar event on the opportunities page and the date of the calendar event is in the past, it won't show on the card.
Okay.
Cool. That's all I had.
I had a question. So this is a little more technical. Is there a way to create a master form? Because I have this client with 3 different locations, but he has this funnel that he already built, and he wants to keep that same form within the funnel. It's not a pop-up or whatsoever. Embed that form that when people come in, they're able to select each location that he has within HighLevel, and then redirect that information to the right location.
I mean, technically you can. I mean, it's a little bit of a workaround though. So what you're going to have to do is park that form in some location,
Mhm.
and then on submission, webhook out to Zapier, do your if check in Zapier, and then based on the outcome of the if check, distribute that information to another location.
But wouldn't the information get added to the system where the master form is located?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You might have to create like a dummy location where you don't care.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
We will build
Yeah,
out. So just so you know, I'm aware of lots of use cases around distributing information amongst accounts. I mean, I think there's also a marketing model where agencies will generate leads, sort of like in a master account, and then distribute them downline in various formats to other locations or basically groups of sub customers. So we will handle that more officially, but probably not until the back half of this year.
Got it. Well, that answers. I thought about that as well, but I wanted to keep everything, not have to create a dummy account or whatsoever.
I'm with you. I want that for you too. Trust me.
One thing that I tried, and I don't know if this is a software bug or something, when I was creating a survey, right, I will select, if it's question number 1, send them to obviously part number 2 or whatever. And what I did was I embedded a form within the survey. I know, kind of crazy. But what happened was
good thinking.
It would show all the forms in the same presentation, even though they were placed on different slides. In a sense.
Oh, I see. I don't know. You should report that one. I can have Raj look at it.
But yeah, just want to point that out.
That's very creative, though. Yeah, if you want to Slack me that info, I'll definitely get it over to our forms guy to take a look.
Yeah, I'll send you a Loom over so that you guys will have, a
cool.
visual.
Plus you're logging in. So, by the way, just as a general announcement, if you ever report anything to me, you might as well please include your login email address and the account it's on, because neither of those things is inherently obvious when I get the Loom video. So it'll help me with that a lot. Otherwise, I'm just gonna come back and ask you for it. So.
Yeah, we'll do.
Thanks, man.
Sean, you mentioned something that I never understood exactly what it meant, and I want to clarify for everybody on here. When on the action side of a trigger, if you choose add opportunity, there's a toggle at the bottom that says move to previous stage.
Correct.
Is what that actually
that really means allow move to previous stage, because by default we do not allow opportunities to move backwards.
So, okay, so is this correct? Allow an opportunity to move to a previous stage in the pipeline, not just the stage right before where it's at?
Any previous stage, yeah. I mean, this is a good example of where, like, Renato should make a quick 2-word edit.
Yeah, he and I are chatting, so we're going to update that wording. Okay, cool.
That's perfect. While you're at it, could you please put a circle question mark next to only assigned data that says warning, warning, warning. This will obscure information. Please know what the heck you're doing before you turn it on.
Yeah.
I get 10 people a week saying, oh my God, my opportunities have disappeared and all my contacts are gone. HighLevel is on fire. And I'm like, did you turn only assigned data on? Oh yeah, I didn't know what that was. I'm like, okay, well, let's turn it off. Whoa, they're back. So yeah, if you can make that more ominous.
Sean, super easy question for you. When I built my appointment book triggers a year ago, whenever it was, I did it. Step 1 was customer booked appointment, right? And then the actions were do this. However, should I select just the general appointment? That way, whether they book it or I book it manually?
Yes, I would.
Okay, so appointment just catches everything.
Correct. Appointment means any appointment booked anywhere, anyhow.
Gotcha.
Customer booked means use widget to book.
Right. Okay.
Hey, got a question. Super hard, difficult question.
I don't like those.
It's about Smart List. So I know it's brand new, and I know a lot of functionality is going to be added to it.
Yeah.
I just have a question. So if I'm filtering it by, say, city, like I want only these people from this city, can I do that twice? Can I put like 2 different cities?
Can you, Chase?
We're talking smart list here.
Yeah. Didn't Pervin drop? Where did Pervin drop that list?
So stack two cities. You mean two filters on top of each other that are the same thing with a different city?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should work.
Because I couldn't get it to work. It kept on like overriding. It would do
Oh,
one
are
or
we
the
oring?
other.
Oh.
Can
well,
you do? I want both. I want both cities to be in that list.
Well, how about this, Chase? Can you try it? And if not, can you just make sure Pervin has it on his list? I'm certain I talked to him about this today in the context of zip codes. I think I'm trying to think if he said we join the filters with anding as we query, which, that's why you can't stack them, because right now they're anding them. So a city would be like Chicago. You don't want Chicago and, you want Chicago or.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want or.
So right that's now not going to work, possible. Right?
Correct. So yeah, so we'll definitely add that to the list though.
Okay. And would you be able to like automatically whoever comes into that list like automatically add a tag to that person if they're in that list? Is that something that a smart list can do?
I don't think so, because the way smart lists work is we basically query our Elasticsearch apparatus when the list loads. I don't think we get like real-time updates when the list changes. Like, I don't think you could trigger off those lists, although that would be interesting to figure out if that's possible.
Yeah, one of our clients, they want to do like a mass email or mass text message to only people on a certain list.
Which you can do, right? But what you're going to have to do in a second is you're going to have to go into the list, select all, and then hit send text, which we'll have out in about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. So that's not available, but that's something that's coming up.
Yeah. But you can't do it automatically. You can't say like, if someone gets added to this list, text them. Right? Okay. But you will be able to go in 2 clicks or whatever, send a text. But that is definitely coming. Those are the bulk actions that we're gonna add. I mean, wait till you see bulk actions now. The whole system gets 10 times easier. We've just been waiting on Smart List to come out to enhance the bulk actions.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's super cool. That's exactly what they were looking for.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, you'll like that.
The other thing is, this is kind of a funnel thing. So we have a 3-part funnel. The first part is just a form. Second part is they can schedule on the calendar for an appointment, and the third page is a thank you page. Third page doesn't matter. They fill out the form. They go to the next action, which is the next stage, which is the calendar. And when they pick their time and date, they ask for their name and email and everything again. Is there a way we can carry over that information from the form on the first page?
Yeah, isn't that what sticky calendar or sticky contact is?
Okay, so it's a sticky thing.
Yeah,
okay.
It should be, yeah.
You just have to have it turned on in both the form and the calendar form.
Gotcha. Okay, and the calendar form would be...
Or sorry, the form and the calendar settings.
Both.
Okay,
both.
So in settings, calendar. Okay. All right. So that's probably what the issue was. We didn't have the sticky on the calendar. Okay.
Yep. 2 places. All right, cool. We're coming up on an hour 15, and we've got a bunch of questions stacked up. So let's try to lightning round them. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. John, would be nice to be able to assign a default unsubscribe link that is automatically assigned to emails within an account. Clients are not creating them and causing issues using Mailgun, is not reporting back to HighLevel, so D&D is never triggered. Is there a solution for this yet?
Yeah, so I believe in the triggers, if you look at the mail trigger, I swear there's one that says unsubscribed. So you can create a trigger that when there's an unsubscribe event that comes back from Mailgun, it will automatically kick off whether there's a link or not.
Right. And so that gets you sort of the way there, right? Because we're still... If you trigger off that to a D&D.
Yep, right. So now you've got that D&D, and you can also do it for spam complaints.
Right. So John, to reiterate, there's a trigger for email actions, and one of the options is like reported spam or unsubscribed. So Mailgun will communicate that to the trigger, and then you can do an action. We still have yet to split the D&D to be able to not totally turn them off, but I think that gets you where you want to go for now. Stephanie, is it possible to embed a funnel on our WordPress website? I know we can embed forms, but what about an entire funnel? So for that, you would want to use a subdomain, right?
Correct. I mean, technically, if you are a little handy with code, you could iframe it in.
Okay, so we have a web developer. We can iframe it in because he was asking about that.
Well, you could certainly try.
Okay.
I don't know any reason why it won't work.
Okay.
Yeah, so ask him to give it a shot.
Okay.
Is there a reason why you wouldn't want to do a subdomain?
Well, I mean, I'm really not web savvy, so sorry if I sound stupid, but if doesn't it have to have our main domain first if it's going to live on the main websites?
So you could have like, so your main website's going to be like website.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you can add a subdomain like funnels dot or pages dot or whatever I want dot your website.com. So you could just as easily link to that.
Okay, I'll talk to Dimitri. Thanks.
Cool.
Yeah, to clarify, typically agencies do it one of two ways. They have access to their client's domain manager, and then they can create like, you know, promotion.yourclient.com/Botox page, whatever. Mm-hmm. Or they'll buy like a generic URL for their niche so they don't have to involve their client, and they do like your client name dot genericdomain.com/Botox promotion or something.
And I just tried iframing it. It worked fine. So,
hey, Chase, to add to that, with the wildcard subdomain, they can do it themselves.
That's a good point.
They can use your generic domain and create the subdomain themselves automatically. They literally just go in there and type it in.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, Stephanie, in our help docs, if you search wildcard and share that with your developer, that can make things a lot easier.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Sure. Matt, does the appointments label disappear in opportunity? Okay, we already talked about that one. Mark, is there a simple way to block out times, days for a short term without syncing to a Google Calendar? The easy hack is just to open up the calendar view and click the slot, and it'll turn green, I think. And when the appointment window pops up, just close it. And then that slot is now blocked. So that works great if you're doing like short term, couple hours here, couple hours there. But if it's like longer term, then you would just want to adjust the calendar settings to block out if it's like the same times on the same days. So hopefully that helps. Charles, right on. Can we clone Sean? Good luck with that one.
Dennis had a good picture of me cloned, so.
Tanya wants a Sean clone. Dennis, hook her up. Lenny, that's awesome. Cool. Javier, how can I create one form that has a location selection? Did we already talk about this? Brings the lead responses. Okay, cool. Ignorance, URL to smart list training.
There you go.
Okay. Did you just paste the URL to the smart list training? Oh, okay, great. Dennis, new service. What new service?
Oh, it's the picture of me being cloned in the marketplace for $1 million.
Nice. Okay.
I'm totally down as well, by the way.
Charles, Go High Level is awesome, unbelievable. Thanks, Charles. Okay, there's Sean's booking link. Dennis, can we have different campaigns triggered when someone reschedules an appointment versus the original schedule so they don't get repetitive messages?
No, not currently. And I'm not opposed to doing it. How often does this happen? And, you know, what is the
Sounds like an idea board.
What is the impact, you know, kind of thing? Like, how bad is this really?
It was just a complaint from a client that, you know, like they love the pictures and the fun stuff I was sending, but then when they reschedule, because the trigger is based on when an appointment is confirmed, then it all repeats over again and it loses rapport.
It's that's on the list of, I totally want to do that for you. I just don't know when.
Cool.
So I would ideas list it. And if you can get votes up, we'll do it sooner.
Cool.
Any update on the HTML builder? Is that website builder or HTML email builder?
That's the HTML email builder. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely on my short list, but it won't come out until after memberships. So I'd probably slate it in the May, June time frame.
So that I feel this pain every time I have to build an email, like the weekly roundup. So in my solving my own pain point, I've come across two tools that I like right now. One is called Stripo. It's easy to build a good looking email and export the HTML. And there's another one called Be Free something, where you don't even have to sign in to build the email and export it. So until we have our awesome new one, those can probably help.
You know what I'm doing is I'm just telling people to build out a page in the page builder, and that becomes, and then drive them to that page with a text or an email versus putting all that stuff in an email. And they're enjoying that because everybody loves the page builder.
I was going to say, and I also tell people that HTML emails go to spam about 98% of the time. And given how many people post in the group about how their deliverability is already terrible, you're just asking for it by sending those HTML emails.
Yep, just send them to a page for the text. That's working.
Hey guys, do you have like a PDF on the triggers of like all the functions you could do with the triggers?
No.
No, but most of them should have their own help doc. So if there's, you know what I mean, search them in there. And if it's one you don't find, let me know, George.
Okay.
And I'll put that on the list of docs to make.
I just created a ticket to talk to somebody about triggers. So, I just wanted to know if there's, because sometimes there's so much stuff, I just don't know what, it's like, oh.
Yeah, most of them should have a doc and a video specifically for that trigger. But if you, like I said, if you find one that doesn't, let me know.
Okay, cool. Sean, really quick, websites coming out next week.
Yep.
I'm being kind of stingy, but you have a chiropractic specific one coming out?
We will. my goal is to get these out with, we have a full-time person just sitting around building templates. It's taken him a little bit of time to get warmed up. So we may have a very weak showing initially. We may have like 5 templates or something, but what we will do is for all those verticals that are in the agency account, the agency snapshots section, my goal is to build out, 3 templates for each of those verticals. And I'm pretty sure chiropractic is in there.
Awesome.
Javier, on form, bottom right corner. Can you post a little more context on that? Jeff, is there a limitation to the number of subdomains you can use on the wildcard entry?
I heard something about how there might be a 10 certificate limit, but maybe I might be crazy on that. We should run that to Robin.
Okay. James, guys, the web chat currently only has one chat, so it's very confusing to try to track multiple issues separately.
I didn't get that question.
So I think they're saying if you initiate a chat about issue A, then you initiate a chat about issue B, it lumps you together in one.
Is this our chat?
Yeah, you're talking about the support chat and how everything's in one place.
Well, Ian's going to make some updates that's going to dynamically embed ticket number and message. So I think that's going to help with this as well.
Well, I think a chat is like a real-time conversation. Like when I get on a call with somebody, right? They're not going to be like, they're going to ask me about multiple things on the call because it's just a chat.
It's not real time right now because most of the time when you put something in, you're waiting for like several hours, so you get multiple things in one day.
Okay. Well, how about we just get our chat response times down, and then that'll solve that problem.
I like that idea. But so in the time being, with that wait time when you're inputting your stuff, you're going to get emails back, I think, saying a ticket was created for this, and it's going to have more information than it used to. So.
Oh, I think that's the other thing. Don't they auto convert the chats to tickets if it's been longer than X?
That's what yeah. So I think the updates that Ian's making or just made should help with a lot of this confusion. Tom, when someone messages the Facebook page, they become a contact. They later book an appointment, entering their name, email, phone, and a second contact is created instead of it merging with the original one created by the Facebook message. Is there a way to merge these so we don't end up with a bunch of dupes? So that should happen automatically, right? Why wouldn't it just associate it with the original contact?
Wait.
So they're saying a Facebook message is initiated, a
Yep.
contact is created, and I always wondered, what information do we get right off the bat from Facebook?
Name,
Just name, first and last?
picture, Facebook, conversation ID for that page only.
Okay, so we have their name, and then they're saying, whatever, they end up on a booking page, they book an appointment, it's not matching the name to that for initial contact. It's
Correct,
creating
because you
another
won't find a CRM on the planet that matches by name.
one.
We have,
It's
but we
always
do.
email or phone, right?
Correct, but we did make one exception here. And so if you go into settings, company settings, there's a setting in there called merge Facebook contacts by name.
Oh,
And so
look at this guy. He's got
this
all the
was-
answers. What?
this was designed, but hold on, there's a very specific use case here. I'm trying to remember exactly what the rules of the road are. I think it's that if the contact comes in first by Facebook, we will then match on name later. So that should work.
And where is that again?
It's under settings, company settings.
Settings, company. There it is. Merge Facebook contacts by name. Bang.
So try turning that on and that should fix your problem. The reason why no
probably-
other CRM on the planet does this is because in general, it's a really bad idea. This is the only use case where we wanted to enable it. And even here, I find that sometimes people get in trouble with it. So just remember that matching on names is a bad thing in general.
Okay, I'll probably need to make a help doc on that. So thanks for bringing that up. Another question I had a couple of times this week is, if you're running a Facebook Messenger bot, let's say ManyChat, a chat's initiated, we create a contact with the name, they get 3 options, they click one that's like, I'd like more information. Does that push through in the conversation?
It does.
So, okay, all that automated
In
stuff
fact,
just comes
normally
through.
what happens and why this works so well is most of the time in those flows, what are you doing? You're saying, hey, what's your email address? And that person's giving you their email or clicking on the button or whatever. And that comes in and we automatically pattern match that out and assign it to their contact. So by the time the ManyChat bot is done, we actually have the name, the email, and the phone all pattern matched over. And then you can zap in all your custom question answers and they made up perfectly to that contact.
Wow. We do that already? It automatically pulls the email out of the conversation?
Yep, it does.
Okay, that's another.
You might want to
doc.
make a video called ManyChat integration, AKA connect your Facebook account and have a nice day.
That's fantastic. Okay. Smart list. When a smart list is created and we select all contacts to do an e-blast, can it be like in contacts where you can choose select all or just the ones showing? Okay, so like we're talking pagination.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, we should run that to Pervin as well. Yeah, that's a good call. I get effectively that's like just the first page versus all.
Yeah. Okay, I'll make a note to bring that up with Pervin.
And it looks like Tom tried that merge Facebook contact by name. So Tom, we're gonna kind of need to get you on the phone somehow, some way, and just see what's going wrong and go from there.
Tom, what's the best way to do that? Who would work on that?
I can give Tom, you can book on my calendar and we can look at it together later this week. I've got time on Friday.
All right, so I'm going to make a reminder to check with you next week before I start making that doc. Okay. Okay, I thought I heard you launched a live chat support widget we can embed, but is it just a contact form instead? So it's a widget that initiates a contact and a conversation in the conversations tab that becomes essentially an SMS conversation, which
Got
I
it.
think is underrated awesome. Like, I don't think we talk about this enough, but like live chat is kind of weak. Like, people really prefer to just text you.
Well, the biggest thing in my opinion is that people run away. I mean, they'll come to your website, they'll hit new conversation, and if you don't immediately get back to them, you know, even with intercom telling you, hey, we get back to you on average in 30 minutes. The biggest thing people have to realize is people don't have 30 minutes to wait around. So even though they do a good job communicating that, and then it's like, okay, well, I guess I'll get back to this later. Bye. And you just leave the website and now there's no way to get back to them. I will tell you, as a huge user of I use chat now through the mobile app like crazy every day. So it's pretty cool because I'm now able to get back to people all the time. And then we take it over to SMS and it just continues and it's fantastic. And otherwise I think I would miss those people because I'm not always watching the web chat.
Got it.
Tom, check. Okay, Tom, we're going to figure that out. Okay, great. We are at the bottom of that list. Let me just check Facebook real quick. Is there training video anywhere for assigned data? No, it's at the top of my list though. I probably will have that out by the end of today.
Yeah, I agree because we worked phenomenally hard on that and it works really well if you need to use it. If you have a competitive sales team that you don't want to have see each other's leads and conversations and everything else, that's what we made it for.
So Russell, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, do that and you'll probably see the video pop up today, no later than tomorrow. And then it'll be in the weekly roundup too on Friday.
I don't think so, Dennis. I mean, you might be able to, like, you could probably go to help.go-HighLevel and do it, but I don't think you can do it through the mobile app. Sweet. All right.
Okay, that was the last
Anything
question.
else?
Nope.
All right.
Thanks everybody for joining us. That was a good one. Sean, thanks for toughing it out.
All right.
Thank you guys.
See you on the other
No
side.
worries.
See you guys next week, same time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.